Hi, my name is Lolita Taub, and I'm a first-generation Mexican-American operator and investor. I've been in tech for 15 years, and I've worked in corporate, in startups, and in venture capital. Today, I invest in pre-seed and seed community-driven companies. So with that, let's jump into the tweets. I grew up poor and underestimated. My first home was a garage, and people used to tell me that I'd be a high school dropout with kids and on welfare. At 33, I'm child-free, have a BA and MBA, over a decade in tech, and I invest in underestimated founders at Backstage. All is possible. This tweet is really all about building in public. I think it's so important for us to share our journeys and not the rosy colored version of it, but the true version of it. And I would be lying if I said this wasn't a hard tweet to share, because I have to be vulnerable. And I hoped that this tweet would allow for folks who may be wondering and questioning whether they belong in the world of venture capital to know that they do, because someone like them, someone non-traditional, was able to break in. The big takeaway here is to think about how you can build in public, because you building in public can actually be so helpful to others in ways you may not even know. What's your word for 2021? And mine, I said, was collaboration. This one's all about setting social accountability. So when I wrote this, I was really thinking about how I had just been super reactive, on autopilot, and not being as focused as I could be. And I thought, well, I don't know if there's a better way than just putting it out there, what I'm going to focus on, and using it as accountability. Maybe you don't need to set an intention for the entire year. Maybe you do. But maybe pick a word or a phrase or a sentence that helps you when you're, in the midst of so much going on, that you can come back to as the intention that you have set, so that it can allow you to feel some joy in knowing that you're not going all over the place, but that you are focused, that you're living an intentional life, and that you're living it aligned to your values. VCs, don't ghost founders. And the next line says, LPs, don't ghost GPs. That's the tweet. The reason why I wrote this is because I really believe that we need to call out bad behavior in our ecosystem. And I was thinking that I could use my platform to call out bad behavior and remind people that it's really important to respect folks and not to ghost them. I would just like to challenge you, when you see something that shouldn't be happening, that you call it out, but also find a way that calls it out without creating more friction or pushback. Create a safe space for change to happen. I'm a huge believer in an abundance mindset. There's enough for everyone. This one I wrote thinking about that little voice that so many of us have that say, there isn't enough to go around. So we really need to just take what we can and run with it. And I really believe that when you are selfish and you don't think of others and you take advantage of people, that it comes from a place of not believing in abundance. And so for me, this is a reminder that there is enough, no matter how people act sometimes. There is a world of abundance. That we have access to it is a different question. But if we come from a place where we understand that there is an abundance in the world, then we can work together a lot better, and we can unlock that abundance together. The last tweet is, after a talk I gave, someone said this: I began to imagine that venture capital could be a career for someone like me. VC is for someone like you. It's for all of us. We belong here. Don't forget that. This tweet definitely comes from a place of understanding the power of storytelling and sharing your journey. I hadn't realized what power my words could have, what power your words could have. But isn't it amazing that just in hearing someone talk and share their story, that others can be inspired to see the potential that they have in themselves? It is so powerful to tell your story, and sometimes we can be embarrassed or ashamed. And I don't think that if you don't want to share it, don't share it. But know that if you do, especially if you come from a non-traditional background. There are people waiting to hear your story, to unlock their thinking about what they can do and be. I really want all of the people in our community, underestimated founders, funders, as well as the friends, our allies, to understand that this journey to success is not one that is meant to be walked alone, that we have to do it together, that there is an abundance of resources to unlock together. Thank you so much, and I wish you the most success on your journey.